Alright, hey there, and welcome back to MTG Meow, Magic Enjoyed in Other Ways. I'm Scott.
And I'm Abbey.
And today, like we said before, we're going to be doing a sealed deck of the Pokémon Red and Blue custom Magic set.
Oh, yay.
So, before we get to the actual building of the deck, there's just a few things I want to talk about. First, you might be saying, well, why are you doing sealed and not draft? And, well, there's two reasons
why?
for that. That's a good question, Abby. And there's two reasons for that. One is doing drafts on the computer of custom Magic sets is extremely difficult. So we will do a draft later, and we'll show you kind of the way we do that on the computer. But it's very difficult, and it's just not quite as satisfying as a normal draft, in my opinion. But when you do a sealed, it's very close to real life sealed on the computer, so it's more realistic in that way.
That's good.
And the second reason is because if you build your own custom Magic sets, I think it's important to really see the value of doing sealed decks over drafts, because when you do a draft, there's 8 people, or 6, 7, 8 people, whatever, and it's very self-fixing. Because since everyone is picking cards in their own colors, it kind of fixes itself, and if someone goes blue, someone goes, red, green, white, whatever, so that way someone basically, no matter how bad a color is in your set or a theme or whatever, someone in the draft is going to go with it, just because it gets allocated to all the different people in the draft.
Yeah.
However, when you're playing sealed, you're just given all the cards, and if something seems weak, then you're just not going to play it. So for example, if you do, let's say, 10 different drafts of your set, you might say, hey, I have a very even color spread. We had two times white one, 2 times blue one, 2 times red one, etc., like that. But if you do 10 sealed games, and then you notice that you or the people who are testing the sealed kind of avoid white, or they avoid blue or green or something, and they never come up, then that might be a sign to you that, I might need to put some more bombs in those colors to really drag people into them, or I might need to make the commons better so that way, people can fill out their decks better, something like that.
Yeah, I guess if that were the case, you'd want to have your color style balanced in ways that people would be picking from all colors, no matter what you do.
Right, and that's where the value of doing sealed comes in over draft.
Yeah.
So today we'll do a sealed. And I just want to show you how we're doing it. We're opening up the set in Magic Set Editor. And what we do is we go over here to the Random tab, and then you can use their preset ways to make booster packs. I prefer to make my own, which is just, as you can see, it's 14 cards. So we have 10 commons, 3 uncommons, and 1 rare or mythic. We don't need the basic land in the pack. So what we do is we generate 6 of those, and we just generate those packs. So boom, here's our sealed pool right here.
Right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste our sealed pool. And we're going to paste it over here, it takes a second, into another blank Magic Set Editor. And
that's why you had the blank card sitting there. Okay.
Exactly, and we can delete that blank card now. And here, is our sealed pool.
Hey.
So what we'll do is we're just going to go through this now, and we'll identify things that are strong, and then we're going to delete the rest. And whatever we're left with, that will be our sealed deck.
And that sounds pretty easy. You made it sound pretty difficult.
Well, again, the drafting is difficult. It's
it's the sealed that's easy.
Not, I don't know if it's easy, but it's whatever.
It's easier.
All right. So the first thing that most people want to do when they get a sealed is look at their rares and mythics. So we're going to sort by rarity and see what we got here. So for rares, we have Electabuzz.
Ah, that's a good one.
We have Jolteon.
Hey.
So we'll go over these cards. You can check out the cards here, but we'll go over them in a bit more detail later. Jolteon, he's good if you have an Eevee, obviously, because he can search up Eevees and evolve more easily. Electabuzz is more of an aggressive card. He wants a lot of electrified creatures, and he wants to get in for damage quickly.
Yeah, Electabuzz is pretty good in my book.
Obviously. Then we have Link Cable Trade, which is kind of a cheaper switcheroo, and you don't get to pick. Your opponent picks which creature they get from you, and you pick which one you get from them. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Then we have Pokemon Egg.
It's cute.
It's cute, yes. You can sacrifice it to create a token that's a copy of a creature you control. And then, we have double Vaporeon.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Wow, so we have Vaporeon, and Jolteon. So if we have an Eevee, then we might be able to go like blue, red, white for Eevee. So
red, white, and blue, baby.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, so those are our rares. So we'll keep those in mind. So just looking at the rares, we have, Electabuzz and Jolteon, which are good aggressive cards. We have Vaporeon, which is great if we have Eevees. And we have Pokemon Egg, which pretty much slots into any deck with big creatures, because you play the Pokemon Egg, and then it just kind of sits there for a while, but then you play a big dude, and then, hey, now you have 2 big dudes when you sacrifice it to make a copy.
Yeah, that's great.
So blue and red are looking pretty good. So now let's take a look at the uncommons real quick. So we have an Arbok.
Ooh, Arbok's good.
Arbok's not bad. Has menace and poison type, so whenever it attacks, the defending player loses a life, and it evolves from Ekans, obviously. We have a Blaine's badge. If you watched exhibition videos, you can see how useful some of the badges can be. We have a Dugong, just kind of a big ice type guy, taps down opponent's creatures. We have Dodrio, also nice, kind of just a medium flyer, normal type, gain 3 life.
Yep.
Pretty good.
I think he's pretty good.
Golduck. Golduck's kind of cool. I like the blue-black ones. It has psychic type and water type, so when it comes into play, you can look at the top card, leave it there, put it in your graveyard, and then water type, draw a card, discard a card. Very good for sifting through the deck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a blue-black person, so Golduck really isn't my cup of tea, but
Maybe we'll go the Electabuzz route. Route for you.
Yeah.
Then next we have Hypno. It's kind of a big guy, 4/5 lifelink and psychic type. So he's a pretty good dude if we're going black. And then whoa, we have 3 Koga's badges.
Hey, that's pretty good.
So just looking at all of the uncommons, it looks like we have 3 Koga's badges, 1 Lieutenant Surge badge, and 1 Blaine's badge. So that's a lot of badges. So if we want to kind of go, big dude control, we might be able to since we have all these badges.
Yeah, that's looking really good for your mana pool right there.
Then we have the black and green gold uncommon, Mega Drain, where all our opponent's creatures get -2/-2, and ours get +2/+2. Good if we have a lot of bugs. We have Metronome.
Hey.
One of my favorite cards in the set. So Metronome is X in a blue and a red. Sorcery deals X damage to target creature or player. Then you choose at random a non-land card with converted mana cost X or less from outside the game. Cast that card if able without paying its mana cost.
I love this card too. I mean, I don't play it very often, but when I do, I mean, it feels so good because it's exactly like you'd be playing Metronome in the game. Like you get something completely random and it's amazing.
Right. So, and the way we do it is, like it says in the reminder text, is you just get a random card from your sideboard outside of the game. So anything that you didn't draft or the rest of your sealed pool, that would go.
Yeah.
You'd be chosen for Metronome.
Sitting on a Charizard.
On a Charizard. I don't think you'd have a Charizard in your sideboard.
Hey, you might.
And next we have Nightshade, which is just deals X damage to target creature and you gain X life. Have to exile X cards from your graveyard.
Oh, that art is so creepy.
Poliwhirl, which we saw in the exhibition videos. He's kind of just a good blocker. Rhydon, just an 8 mana, 7/7 with ground type and rock type. So basically an 8/8. Just a
big old fatty.
Just a big fatty. Seadra, just a 4/4 with prowess and water type. Kind of a good medium dude. And then to round it out for the uncommons, we have 2 Venomoths, which
that's not bad.
We saw in Abby's video, Venomoth came in for the kill at the end of one of her games.
Yeah.
So
It might not look like a killer, but it is.
So, alright, so just one more time for the rares, it looks like, red and blue are pretty good. And from the uncommons, just looking at the uncommons, what do you think we got here going on, Abby?
Just looking at the uncommons, I mean, I agree that from the rares, we've got a nice blue and red type going on, but from the uncommons, I mean, there's a lot more diversity shown here. I mean, like, there's a lot of good, like, blue and, black cards, blue and red cards, I mean, a lot of good mixes, and then you have, like, you have Seadra, which is good. Venomoth, I mean, like, it's starting to look, here to me, it looks like the blue, black, red, and green are pretty viable.
Yeah, white is probably
at this point.
Probably the weakest. Dodrio is very good, but I wouldn't just go white for Dodrio.
Yeah,
in my opinion, just looking at the uncommons, with 3 Koga's badges,
especially with the 3 badges,
Mega Drain, and double Venomoth, black and green is looking very nice.
It's looking very nice.
Alright, so we'll keep that in mind. So now let's take a look at all of the cards. So we'll just organize them by color now. So in white, again, white seems to be our weakest. We have Body Slam, Dodrio, which we saw before, Dratini, comes into play and gives protection.
Yeah, that's helpful in a pinch, but I don't know if it's worth going white for.
Yeah. EXPL, which kind of boosts all your dudes. Good if you have a lot of bugs or something. Another EXPL. Pidgey, kind of an okay blocker in the air, or if you have a Pidgeotto or Pidgeot, then it's good. Mm-hmm. Sing, which is a very nice removal spell.
Oh, Sing is very effective.
Although, to be noted, in this set, Sing, if you, let's say, for example, your opponent has a Pidgeot out and you sing it. So you're like, oh, phew, dealt with that Pidgeot, no big deal. Then your opponent plays a Pidgey.
Then you're screwed.
It still evolves. So yes. Something like Sing, it's still very good, not necessarily as good in this set as it would be in others.
Yes.
And then rounding it out, we have a Thunderstone. So in each of the colors has their own stone. You have Thunderstone, Waterstone, Moonstone, etc. The Thunderstone lets you look at the top 5 cards of your library and choose a white creature or a land card and put it in your hand. So very good at kind of helping you sift through the deck even if you don't have water types.
Exactly. It's good for getting what you need.
So
I don't use it very often, but
well, you just go with whatever the top of the deck gives you.
Yeah, pretty much.
So white, Dodrio's good, Body Slam's good, Sing's good. Not so great for the other stuff. All right, let's move on to blue. Dugong, like we saw before, kind of a good, beefy dude. Not too bad. Disable, decent counterspell.
Yeah.
Goldeen,
Goldeen can be pretty good.
Goldeen's fine if you're in like a blue-red tempo deck or something, but I don't think that's where we'll be going with this. Link Cable Trade, kind of an interesting card if you aren't planning on, if you can kind of time it right, then your opponent gets something crappy and you get something good.
Mm-hmm.
Meditate, kind of a fun card. I like the art. And it just lets you basically draw 2 cards, but if you have Pokemon Master, then you can pretty much get a card back from your graveyard as well. Then we saw Poliwhirl and Vaporeon. So something to note is that, the Vaporeon is really only shining when you have an Eevee in your deck, because then you can go grab an Eevee and then evolve it into another Vaporeon, draw cards off evolution.
Yeah, otherwise it's just kind of a vanilla water type, really.
Eevee is a white card, and we do not have an Eevee in this pool. So that really makes Vaporeon and subsequently Jolteon, their kind of desirability go down a bit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Alright, so that was blue. Let's check out black. We have Cut, just an aura that gives -1/-1. If you have Pokemon Master, then you draw a card when it comes into play. We have Drowsy, kind of a smaller version of Hypno, just a 2/2 lifelink, and Hypno is a 4/5 lifelink. They both have Psychic type. We have Leech Life, kind of just a combat trick, gives +3/+0 and lifelink, and indestructible if you have Pokemon Master. Nightshade, which we saw before, very good card. Revive is we saw that.
Haunter.
Well, he's getting revived. He's fine. We saw that in the exhibition match. I don't know if we ever cast it, but it's kind of good value in the late game. Sludge, a very versatile removal spell,
very versatile.
Can kill 1 thing, 2 things, small things, medium things, whatever. Toxic. Toxic is another kind of fun, flavorful card. So it's an aura. You put it on a creature. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, you put a Toxic counter on Toxic, and the enchanted creature gets -1/-1 for each Toxic counter on Toxic.
So very slow and painful
death. But it can kill anything, but slowly.
Yes.
All right, and then rounding it out, we have 2 Zubats, just 1/1 flyer with poison type, good for an aggressive black deck. So far, I think black has seemed the strongest because we get, Sludge, very versatile, Nightshade, very good, Hypno, Drowsy, that's an evolution right there, and Hypno is very good on its own.
Right.
So black, to me, seems to be doing very nicely. Let's move on to Red Charmander. We saw that a lot in the exhibition matches if you watch those.
Yeah.
Just a 2/1 fire type, so it deals 2 damage when it comes into play. Earthquake, sideboard card against artifacts and bugs. Electabuzz, very good aggressive card. One of the reasons to go aggressive for sure.
I love Electabuzz.
So Electabuzz, we'll definitely have to keep that in mind. Hitmonchan, which has Flash and fighting type, so it comes into play, can fight something, can kill a bug, and then can also block something. So
it's a good like blocker or bug killer in a pinch. But I mean, in my opinion, Hitmonlee is a little better. But
Hitmonlee is good at killing bigger things. Hitmonchan is more of just a tricky one if you're it's not really for the red aggressive decks. It's more for the red slower controlling decks.
Right. It takes a little more strategy to use Hitmonchan versus Hitmonlee.
Yeah. And then we do have Hitmonlee as well. Jolteon, which we talked about before, it's fine by itself, but you really need an Eevee to make it grow, to make it great. And then we have Magnemite, kind of rounding out the last card here, and he's just, a 1/1 flying creature for 3, not so great, but he has electric type, so if he deals damage, he becomes a 2/2 flyer as well.
Little tutor.
The little Magnemite that could and sometimes could not.
Yes.
So that's red. Red, actually, I mean, it's not bad. Electabuzz, really good, and
yeah, I mean,
Hitmonlee is a decent removal spell. Other than that, though, not. It's very small. There's not a ton of red, so it kind of has me worried about going red.
Yeah. I mean, for a Seal Pool, it's not so bad, but I don't know. There are probably better ones.
All right, so let's take a look at green. We have double Caterpie.
Ooh.
2/1 comes into play, makes a bug. 1/1 bug with its bug type.
Mm-hmm.
Paris. It's a 1/2 comes into play, makes a bug with bug type, and has grass type, so it adds a green to mana pool as well. Potion, just kind of a pump spell, gives +2/+2, or +4/+4 if you have Pokemon Master. Takedown, another decent removal spell, gives +1/+1 in fights, or +3/+3 if you have Pokemon Master, Pokemon with Evolution. and Twin Needle, so it creates some bugs.
Ooh.
So we actually have Bug Maker, Bug Maker, Bug Maker, Bug Maker. So
that's looking pretty good to go with Venomoth.
Right, we were talking before about how green and black was looking pretty good. So, and we have a decent green and decent black. So just before we get into the multicolor, just to recap, I think white is the weakest, blue's probably the second weakest. Then we have red, which has some good rares. Then probably green is the second strongest, and I'd say black is our strongest.
Topped off by black. Yep.
All right, so now it's a very heavy multicolor set. So we'll take a look at some of the multicolor cards. We have 3 Krabbies.
Hey, Krabby.
Krabby's fine, but again, what? Nice Krabby. But again, our white is not very strong, and our blue it's fine. If we had a Kingler, then maybe I'd consider it, but I think we're gonna pass on the Krabbies.
Yeah.
Golduck, not bad because we have a Psyduck as well. So blue, black, that could be a consideration.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So, and again, these guys both have just Psychic type and Water type, help you kind of find the cards you need in the pinch. Mm-hmm. And then, we have Arbok.
And Ekans.
Arbok and Ekans. So
that strengthens red a bit, I'd say.
That does strengthen red quite a bit. So Ekans is a smaller version of Arbok, just has Menace and Poison type. So get in for a lot of damage with them. And 2 Coughings as well for more red and black.
Exactly. That Poison type and flying it can be lethal if it's left unchecked.
For sure. So that's something to consider. We have some good black and red right here. Then we have 2 Growlithes for red and green, which I think we saw Abbey cast a few times with her Bugs and Fire deck. And then we have 2 Clefairies and a Jigglypuff for green and white. So that's pretty good. These guys are, they're quietly very good because, just they can absorb a lot of damage, they can block easily, they have reach, and Jigglypuff, can get in for some damage. A 2-3 might not seem like a ton, but 2-3 Vigilance, getting in for 2 damage early, and then also blocking with 3 toughness, it's nothing to count out.
Yeah, it's nothing to shake a stick at.
Or shake a mic at.
Or shake a mic at, it can be a legit threat.
Alright, and then next up we have Meowth, which has Death Touch and Normal type for some black and white stuff, and Spearow, which is a 3-2 flying normal type. And then for blue and red we have Magikarp, which is not the greatest card in the world.
Yeah, but
it has Water type. And also, when it enters the battlefield, you flip a coin. If heads, you return a land card from your graveyard to your hand.
Yeah, that's not so bad sometimes.
Sometimes. Unless you're like, alright, Magikarp, I'm going to discard this land from my hand with your Water type. You better get it back for me when I flip this coin. Come on, Magikarp. Oh, no, Magikarp.
Hey, it's classic Magikarp
Classic Magikarp. So, good if you have a Gyarados, not so great if you don't. And then we talked about earlier Metronome. I love Metronome.
Yes, you do.
This would be the reason for me to really want to go blue. Seadra is also another reason to want to go blue. It might not look like a lot, but a 4-4 that can turn into a 5-5 easily with prowess can be a big game sometimes. But then we have our black-green 3 quality uncommons with Mega Drain and Double Venomoth. So,
all very good.
Very tempting. Alright, so then let's go down here. We have a Pikachu for red-white, has electric type, and it can also ping players and creatures, so it can very easily get that +1/+1 counter for electric type. Mm-hmm. And then rounding it out for the multicolors, we have Execute. It has Psychic type and Grass type, so it's good for sifting and ramping and blocking as well.
Yeah, it's pretty good all around, really.
And Slowpoke, who is another Psychic and Water type, and is very good at blocking very early. It only costs 2, and it's a 0-4.
Dang. And
so
it's got Psychic type and Water type.
Yeah. All right. And just before, so again, looking at these multicolors, I'd say our strongest is probably black, red, and
followed by green.
Followed by black, green. So we'll keep that in mind. And these the white ones here they're tempting, and Metronome's tempting too, but I just don't know if.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we have enough for that.
All right. Well, let's check down here with our artifacts and lands, and then we'll start building. So first we have Bill's PC, where you can sacrifice to search for a creature card with evolution, put it on top of your library. And if you have Pokemon Master, you just basically put it into your hand. You draw a card. Burn Heal, when you've been burned by fire types, lets you gain back some of that life. When it comes to play, you gain 2 life. You can sack it to gain 2 and draw a card.
Yep.
Calcium, it's an equipment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you can attach it to it, and it gets +1/+1. So it helps boost the power of fire types. They deal more damage. Helps boost the power of normal types. You gain more life.
Yep.
We have 2 Diglets. Diglets, okay.
Yeah, it's so-so. I mean,
if you're desperate for a 3-drop in an aggressive deck, you could do worse. And it also helps against opponents who have graveyard synergies as well.
Yeah, like especially Staryu.
Yes, something like Staryu that gets back instants and sorceries. And then here we have Ether, one of the best things you can hope for if you're playing a 4 or 5 color deck. It just adds mana of any color to your mana pool, and you can, when you don't need that anymore, you can sacrifice it to draw cards.
So good.
Then we have Fossil, which is very similar to Bill's PC. Bill's PC gets a creature with evolution out of your deck. Fossil gets a creature with evolution out of your graveyard. And if you have Pokemon Master, you just get it right into your hand.
Hey.
Alright, and then we have Protein, gives +2/+0, simple equipment, and then Rhydon, which we saw before.
Yep.
And then last year we have we have some of our lands. We have a Celadon City, Cerulean City, Cinnabar Island, and Vermilion City. So we have a lot of red ones.
We do, but we also have a lot of white ones.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only viable one to use here would be Cinnabar Island.
Yes, Cinnabar Island might be helpful, and also Cerulean City if we're gonna splash that.
You really want that metronome.
Oh, I want it so bad. All right, so we've taken a look at everything, and Abby, what are your thoughts on what we should do?
I mean, my thoughts are, to me, it's looking like it's strong, maybe, red, black, green deck to me.
Red, black, green.
Yes, red, black, and green look really good to me. I'm not really much of a blue type player, so I'm not really looking at any of that. But I am looking at the bugs, and I'm looking at the aggressive red cards that we've got, like Electabuzz and Hitmonlee, and it's all in this, and Arbok and Ekans, and it's all looking really good to me. Like you could get a half decent Bugs and Fire deck going.
All right. So what we'll do is let's start eliminating things that we know we're not going to use. So I know even if because we do have ways to splash white with like Celadon City or Vermilion City or Lieutenant Surge's badge. We do have those. Even if we splash white, I don't think we're going to play Dratini. I don't think we're going to play these EXPLs or Pidgey or Thunderstone. And looking at blue, again, if we had an Eevee, I think we'd play these Vaporeons, no question. But without the Eevee, I just don't think they're worth it. So I think we can get rid of the Vaporeons.
Yeah, it's not even worth it at this point.
And since we're getting rid of Vaporeons, I think that means Poliwhirl can go, Goldeen can go, Disable can go, Meditate, Dugong, Link Cable Trade. They're okay splashes, so we'll leave them for now.
Yeah, for now they're alright.
Alright, and for black, I mean, if we're an aggressive deck, then Cut, Zubat, pretty much everything here is good if we're an aggressive deck.
Yeah.
If we're only going to try for the long game, then we might not play Cut or Zubat. We might cut, exactly. Then looking at red, again, if we're going to be an aggressive deck, basically we'd play everything here, even Magnemite and Charmander. I don't know about Earthquake. We might not play Earthquake.
That might be a sideboard card.
Yeah. And then looking at the green, if we're going bugs, then we probably play everything. Again, I don't know about Potion, but we'll see. So that's the main colors. Let's look at the doubles. So Krabby. Sorry, Krabby.
Yeah.
Not today.
Not today, unfortunately.
And then we have Golduck and Psyduck.
They're viably splashable. It's just I'm not quite sure if it would be taking too much away from the deck to splash for blue.
Yeah, I mean, Golduck's fine. Don't get me wrong. A 5-mana 3/5 that has Psychic type and Water type is decent, but I just don't think there's enough power there for what we're trying to do. But now we have Arbok, Ekans, and Double Coughing. Oh, I wish we had a Weezing so bad.
Oh, I know, that'd be so good.
And then we're gonna definitely keep these here for now because I think we're really being pulled in that direction. Then we have these Growlithe. If we're aggressive enough and we need a filler, then I guess we could throw it in. So we'll keep it.
And it's got Trample and Fire type. I mean, that's pretty good.
Then we have Clefairies and Jigglypuffs. I mean, these are great cards. I just don't think they're for us right now.
I don't think they're gonna fit in here.
Same thing with Meowth and Spearow and Magikarp. And Metronome. We'll keep you here for now. So Metronome and Seadra, again, great blue and red cards. So Mega Drain, Venomoth. These are the guys that are really pulling us in that direction. So.
Right.
Pikachu, not today. Execute, nope. Slowpoke, nope. Bill's PC, so we'll take a look at how many evolutions we have, but I don't know about that. Burn Heal, that's definitely a sideboard card. It's not going to make our main deck. Really. Calcium, we have like potentially 1-2 fire types, so I don't think this is a Calcium deck.
Yeah, not really. I mean, if we had more Goldeens or something, and like we're going more blue than red or something like that, I would recommend keeping it.
I think you need a bunch of fire types to make Calcium good.
Yeah, you'd need a bunch of fire types.
Diglett, no thanks.
Yeah.
Ether, we might play Ether.
You should. Like you said, Ether is a good all-around card for any deck, so I think it's safe to keep it in there just for now if we need any mana fixing.
Fossil, I mean, if we're playing black, we have Revive, which is usually just better, so we'll get rid of Fossil. 3 Koga's
Oh,
badges.
that's right, we have those, yes.
And Lieutenant Surge. We'll leave all those there for now. Pokemon Egg is a good rare. We'll probably play it no matter what. Protein?
Not so much.
Maybe. It's good to equip them to bugs. It turns your 1/1s into 3/1s, which are suddenly big threats.
That's true.
So, and then we have a Rhydon. Rhydon, if we're going to be aggressive, I just don't think we need a 8 mana, essentially 8/8. So, not today, Rhydon. Alright, and Celadon City, no, we don't need. Cerulean, Cinnabar, Vermilion. So, yeah. I just don't think we need the white. So we're going to get rid of the white. So let's just get rid of all the white now. So that way
I think it's safe to cut all the white.
So we're down to mostly, I mean, we're looking at black, red, and green with maybe a little bit of blue.
I mean, in my opinion, I would cut the blue.
Yeah, I think we're going to cut this base blue stuff. The only blue that I'm considering is Metronome and Seadra, really. What are you laughing at?
Well, I mean, I know that you like these cards, and I know that you're a blue guy, but I mean, honestly, if it were me doing this sealed pull, I think that just having that other, even just splashing that other color is just going to drag you down.
All right, well, we'll see how it goes. So I think Seadra's out for sure. Metronome, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if obviously if there's a card that you like and you can get away with having it in, go for it. But
okay, so we definitely don't want to play 3 Koga's Soul Badges because as you can see, they're legendary. So if you have you can't really have more than one out. So I think we'll cut one of those right away. And I don't think we need Lieutenant Surge's badge. So that leaves us with potentially these 3 badges right here for ramp. So
that's pretty alright.
Alright, so now we've cut a lot of fat.
We have.
So let's see what we got. You can see over here we have 42 cards currently. So we need to get that down to 22, 23.
All right.
Depending on how aggressive we're trying to be.
Okay, so let's get lethal here.
Let's get lethal. All right, so the main crux of our deck is these Venomoths, the Mega Drains, and like the Pokemon Egg to make more Venomoths. I'd say that's where our deck really wants to be.
Yeah.
So things that make more bugs for Venomoth and things that help us go wide and kind of take advantage of Mega Drain, I think we're going to value those more than other stuff.
Yeah, like I would be cutting Cut and Leech Life for starters.
Leech Life. We don't need that, I don't think. It's just kind of a bad combat trick.
Yeah, we're not really doing that. We're just focused on getting a bunch of bugs out and beating face.
Yeah, definitely don't need Hitmonchan because we're aggressive. We don't need Earthquake. I think Charmander's just too weak on his own.
Yeah, you definitely need the other puzzle pieces like Charmeleon and Charizard if you're to keep that in the deck.
Same thing goes with Magnemite. Just on his own, I think he's too weak. So we'll just cut Magnemite.
Yeah, I mean with 2 Venomoths, you've already got a bunch of fat flyers, so and Coughing's a flyer, so I mean you don't really need those. And obviously the bugs we want to keep.
And we have this potion, which it's kind of fun to blow people out, where you play a fire type and then you Pokemon Master, give it +4/+4 in response, and you deal 4 damage to the opponent. But we just got rid of Charmander, and the only other fire types are Growlithe, which I don't even think are going to make the deck either. So I think we'll get rid of potion as well. So let's see what we're looking like for removal so far. So we have Nightshade, which is...
Oh, Nightshade is good.
It's good. We might have a harder time filling our graveyard because we only have, so far, Drowsy and Hypno for psychic types, and we don't have any other water types or anything. But I think it's so good that we will probably keep it in.
Oh yeah, Nightshade's worth it.
We have Sludge, Toxic,
Zubat.
Hitmonlee, and Takedown for and Mega Drain and Metronome. Alright, so I think we're doing well in the removal department. Why don't we check out some of these other things? So Bill's PC, we can do a quick search for evolutions. We have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
and we may not even keep Jolteon.
Oh, that's also a good point. So Jolteon. Yeah, I mean, Jolteon, he is a 4/4 electric type, but I don't think that's enough to just... Because, I mean, Electabuzz is a 3/3 electric type that costs 3, and he can do a ton of other stuff for us.
Right,
so.
like, I would save Jolteon for the last round of cuts, maybe, but...
Or we can just get rid of it
Or we can just get rid of it now, sure, whatever.
And since, that gets rid of another evolution, I think Bill's PC can go as well.
Right, we have to be ruthless here.
We do. Alright, so now we're down...
Well, why are there 2 soul badges? I mean, we only need 1, right?
Yeah.
Because you can only have 1 at a time.
Alright, so let's take a quick look at by converted mana cost. And we have, a couple 1s, 2s, 3s, a lot of 3s actually. And then we have some 5s. And then we have our most expensive cards are Venomoth and Mega Drain. So, yeah, we could probably get rid of a soul badge. And we also have to keep into mind that 2 of these are lands right here.
Well,
so
we can cut cerulean because we don't have any blue.
Hem.
Just cut it, bruh.
I mean, okay, here's the thing. If we keep cerulean and we have ether, I think that's that's 2 blue sources right there.
I mean, if you want to cut the efficiency of the deck so you can keep your favorite card, do it. Fine.
All right, well, we'll see how it goes. If we really need to cut metronome, then we will. And then, because if we were only playing, only in quotes playing 3 colors, then we might be able to cut the ether as well. But we'll see how it goes.
Well, I think we could cut protein as well.
Protein. All right, so that we have to. If we're gonna cut protein, we really have to look at. We have Zubats, double Zubat. So
I would cut those too.
If we cut Zubat, then yeah, we can cut protein. Zubat though is one of the most aggressive cards in the set. So it just comes down on turn 2, attacks for 2 in the air because 1 damage, they lose a life. If you cut something, then they can't. Maybe they play like a flyer, then they can't block with it. You just get in for a ton of damage. So
right, but we also have Ekans, and I mean Ekans is a good turn 2 aggressive card as well.
Ekans is also a good turn 2 aggressive. It's good to have a lot of turn 2 aggressive cards though. So I mean we have how many 2-drops? We have 1, 2, Twin Needles a 2-drop. And Ekans is down here for some reason. So yeah, we have very few 2-drops in our aggressive deck. So maybe keeping the Zubats would be a good idea.
I just don't know what we would cut. We have to cut it what, like 10 more cards?
No, because we have 2 lands here. So we
oh, that's right.
We have to cut like
6.
Yeah, 6 more cards. So all right, let's take a look at everything. So we have cut. I really want to keep Drowsy and Hypno because they're just powerful. It's good to have evolutions, and they're just
and they have lifelink, which is great too. I mean, it's just an added bonus to having 2 little fatties.
So Zubat is looking like the weakest link currently. Caterpie helps us make bugs, although I don't even know if we really need to make that many bugs. I think just Venomoth by itself might be good enough.
Yeah, I mean, like, we've got Twin Needle and we've got Paris.
We have Twin Needle.
Because Paris has the grass ability, right?
Paris has grass and bugs, so.
Right, and I don't think the Caterpie is doing much for us apart from that. I mean, I think cutting the Zubats and cutting the Caterpies and maybe like 1 or 2 other cards might be good, and then we're all set.
All right,
and you can keep your metronome.
I really want to keep that metronome.
I know you do.
All right, so we have 31 cards minus the 2 lands. That's 29. So that means about 6 cuts. So if we got rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we could probably get rid of protein 5.
Yeah, maybe cut.
Oh yes, 6. So that would be the deck then. And I kind of miss protein because it makes our bugs better, but we kind of toned down the bugs, so it's not really that important anymore. Dub's coughing is also a little strange in our kind of medium aggressive deck. What do you think about it? Would we rather have a coughing than a protein or a cut, basically, is what it comes down to.
I mean, I think that having flyers with poison is always a good idea. I mean, and I think that a flyer with poison would do far more damage than a cut would.
Okay, so let's get rid of cut. We'll get rid of the Zubats. And...
yeah, coughings are just better.
I think
Zubats.
we'll get rid of... I wouldn't say just better. I think we'll get rid of 1 coughing.
Okay.
And so that brings us down to 27 minus 2 is 25, so we still need to make 2 cuts.
I cut that protein, man. That's not really doing anything.
Protein, but it's so good on like a coughing. Turns into a 3/3 flyer.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it might be worth.
And since we just got rid of some 2-drops, it's nice to have something to play on turn 2. All right, let's take one last look. So we got to make 2 more cuts. Oh, the Caterpies, obviously.
Right.
So we'll get rid of 1, 2 Caterpies. And then I think, I think then we're good. And we still get to play my sweet, sweet metronome.
You kept it.
Good job. It could obviously be a mistake. I'm not saying it's not a mistake to potentially to play metronome. But I really like it. It's very powerful. Sometimes it's a 2-for-1. And
yeah, I mean, it's definitely a nice surprise to have up your sleeve. I mean, I'm not sure if it's worth keeping, but you seem to have an argument ready to go for keeping it. So, and
also kind of important about metronome is that in an aggressive deck like this, and especially one that's lacking fire types, it's good to have reach. So if we get it out early, we get our opponent down to like 5 life, but then they amass tons of blockers and we just can't get through. it's good to have a way to, get just, boom, 5 damage to the face whenever we need it,
That's true.
Alright, so these are the 23 cards that I'll be using for my deck. I'm going to put in some basic lands, obviously, and put the deck in cockatrice. And then Abby and I will build another sealed deck that you guys won't see. It'll be a secret, so that way you'll discover it as we battle.
Exactly.
And we'll play the decks against each other and see what happens.
Ayy.